Mayfield.
Hey, what's this thing, man?
What happened in the fight? Kovalev Ward?
Hey, man, Kovalev Ward was able to pull out the victory, man, just due to the strength of his activity, ring generalship, and he looked good, man. Hey, I'm about to go collect that check, man. I put the dough up, man.
You put some money?
Hell yeah, man.
Hey, business?
Put $1,500 all day. A little bit of change, man, but you know what I mean?
What about the people that...
Jay Prince, what's up with Jay?
What about the people that think it was like some kind of robbery? Or?
Hell nah, man. Jay, he pulled that off, man. They both was undefeated. They both was marketable. I mean, they both have like the same marketability, I'd say. Dre probably more so because he was an Olympian, but I mean, it was Dre won the fight, man.
Straight up.
Oh yeah, straight up.
What's next for KARIM MAYFIELD?
We're looking for February 4th in the city, San Francisco Civic Center, man. Tune in, man.
All right, I'm gonna stay in touch with you. You know I'm gonna be there.
Already.
All right.
Because Ward is a really good boxer and who doesn't engage, and it takes two to make a real fight.
But didn't he come out strong in the second half of the fight?
He did. He fought better in the second half of the fight. There's no doubt about it.
A rematch. What's going to happen?
I don't want to see a rematch.
You don't?
You want to see that again?
Yeah, I love it.
I thought it was ugly.
Okay. Thank you for your opinion.
I'm Darnell Boone.
Hey.
Larry, who did you have winning tonight? It's very controversial.
Thank you. I thought Kovalev clearly won the fight. I thought it was Ocean's 11 in the ring.
Wow.
You know, robbery.
Stephen A. Smith told me the same thing, and so did Lomachenko. So how did the three officials see it 114, 113?
I think they probably saw some rounds with their hearts instead of their eyes.
Now, there's a mandatory rematch. Eddie, what do you think? I hate to make you repeat all the answers that you just gave, but I know Michelle likes her one-on-one, so can you just give us your thoughts on the fight?
Yeah, I thought Andre Ward just won the fight in a very close fight. So many close rounds, a draw, a round to Kovalev, a round to Ward. You know, you could have gone with any. I just feel like I said before the fight that I hope that Kovalev is desperate to win the fight because it will make a great fight. And he didn't look desperate to win the fight in the last 6 rounds. Like he was coasting through rounds that are so close. You can't afford in a fight of this magnitude to just like coast rounds and maybe take a round. And I think his start was so good, he just thought, you know, I could just keep going like this. But the rounds were closing in on him, and he was losing rounds consecutively. I probably gave Ward like 5 out of the 6 rounds on the back end of the fight. And although they were close, you know, I just thought that he does what he does. Andre Ward in the last 6 rounds did everything that I thought he would do for the 12. You know, I thought he would dominate the fight and win on points. But he only got round to doing that probably from the 5th round.
Kovalev looked dominant early on. What do you think happened? Was it something that Andre Ward did, or?
No, I think I don't know whether I said when.
said he hurt his hand.
Yeah, that may make sense because you know he didn't really get his shots off, and after the start that he had, his confidence really should have been there to go and press the fight, but he didn't. So maybe he did hurt his hand. But you know, I think that Ward, when he got into the ring, I tweeted and said he looks ice cold. This could be an easy night. And then like after 2 or 3 rounds, I'm going, why did I tweet that? And he was hurt badly, and you could see his eyes change. You know, he's gone from like this to like this. So he felt the power, and maybe that woke him up, and maybe that made him produce the performance that he did.
So you had a rematch, right? The 114, 113?
Yeah, that's how I scored it. Yeah, that's exactly how I scored it. Yeah, for Ward. For Ward, yeah.
Was that the type of performance for a #1 pound-for-pound fighter?
If Andre Ward's, you know, he's never going to put a performance in where, like, that was a fight for the purists. So when you look at social media, all the boxers, yeah, all the trainers, all the hardcore boxing fans go, what a fight. What a performance. And the casual fan goes, that was alright. You know what I mean?
Don't you think that's what makes him so great? To be able to be hurt that bad from such a big puncher, such a big guy, and to dig deep and find a way to dominate the fight, you know, the second half of the fight. I guess, you know, he mentioned his performance, like pound for pound, but isn't that great in itself?
It is, but he is a fight for the he's a fighter for the purists. Right. He's a man of immense skill, and he's not a Golovkin. You know, he's not a guy that's going to come out and knock people out and get the crowd on their feet. He's a guy that is technically one of the most gifted fighters in the world.
When is Anthony Joshua going to fight here in the US?
When you guys get the money together. We've got a lot of money in the UK right now, but you know, listen, we're working hard with Showtime. We want the Deontay Wilder fight in 2017. We've got to build that fight into a huge fight. If we did it here now, it would be big. If we did it here in 12 months, it could be massive.
Now you put a fighter in there with you had Paul Smith opposite Ward. What makes him difficult to beat? I seen you at that fight.
Technically gifted. More than that, I was with Carl Froch when he boxed.
Oh yeah,
Andre Ward. And you know, I really thought he could beat him, and you know, he didn't school him, but you know, he gave him a good beating that night. Technically, Carl said he's so strong. You know, we wanted Carl to get inside and work on the inside and beat him up and rough him up, but Andre Ward did it instead. So you know, he's very, very gifted. But I didn't think he looked great on his feet in the first 3 or 4 rounds, taking the knockdown away, even in the first round. I don't know, you know, he took him a while to get into the fight, and then when he did, he took over. But the rounds were very close. You know, the rounds that Kovalev won, he won easy, and the rounds that Ward won, he won marginally.
Who would you pick on a rematch?
Probably Andre Ward. I thought Andre Ward would win the fight every day of the week, but not like that, you know.
And my final question, main event, another American gold medalist, Andre Ward, defeated Sergey Kovalev. What did you see? Who did you have winning and why?
You know what, I know that I had Andre Ward winning the last 7 through the 12 rounds, very, very strong. Like, there's no way that you can say Kovalev won any round 7 through 12. If you think about the knockdown that happened in the 3rd round, the rounds 3 through 6 actually were not clear on if Kovalev won the rounds or not. Yeah, maybe he had got the knockdown, but he slowed down completely. Andre was making the more boxing moves, and Andre was trying to set him up for shots. Andre was digging down to the body, and I think that Andre was just a smarter fighter after he got dropped. So I knew it would be fairly close, and I actually had it for Andre Ward, split decision.
And what's it like just being a championship level and getting knocked down, anything like that? I'm sure you experienced.
No, I've never been knocked down. I've never had a close fight, especially in the 2016 Olympics. But 2012, I had one close fight, and I just bit down the last round and I got it. But I've never been knocked down ever, or stunned or anything like that. But I know that it takes courage to get back up. That I do know, because I've seen guys get dropped and stay down. And I've seen guys, you know, get dropped, but they get back up and then they get knocked right back down. But Andre got up and he was smart, and he knew, like, I still can win this fight. You know, he took it as it's just a knockdown. Some people think that it's the end of the world, you know, but it's not. And Andre, he got a strong mind, man, strong mind.
I appreciate your time and look forward to your career.
What's next for you? What do you want?
Mr. Berto, what you got in the suitcase, man? That's the real question.
Boxing Ego, I'm with strength and conditioning coach extraordinaire with Andre Ward. He came out to the Kovalev Ward fight. What did you see tonight?
You saw the heart of a champion, man. You saw Andre Ward make adjustments. You saw him, you know, persevere, go through a tough opponent, and do what he had to do to get the W.
Now, what have you noticed just from being around Andre Ward so much? What have you noticed that makes him that he pushes to this extra gear, this extra level?
You know, I think the thing is that he's very thorough. You know, he's so thorough. Him and Virgil are very thorough. They want to have a game plan for anything that comes at them. You know, he says he wants to be an all-terrain fighter, and he proved it. You know, like once the fight became what it was, he got inside and started digging the body the rest of the night, and I think that right there was the elite. I think that was the differentiator right there. You know, his ability to get on the inside and do that work. So.
And what do you think about just the overall atmosphere? This was Dre's very first HBO pay-per-view, and just like leading up to it, how was that process?
You know, I think it was good. I think that he deserves this opportunity, and I think that he handled it well. And I think that he is the guy that should be, you know, the guy we put up on that pedestal to, you know, be the face of the sport. Because, you know, not everybody has to be a bad guy to represent something. You know, we like the bad guy, but sometimes you can just be the good guy, you know? And sometimes I think even good people end up playing the bad guy role because it sells, but I think he can sell the good guy role.
Definitely. Now, where can the fans stay in touch with Tony Brady? They want to get some tips. You're always in mad shape.
I'm on Instagram, Tony Brady 310, and Twitter, Tony_Brady.
All right. Well, I look forward to talking to you again. And again, a great night. Congratulations to Team Ward.
Appreciate you taking the time, man.
Thank you, Tony.
Take care.
Thanks.
Wow. Thank you.
Now, what won Andre the fight tonight, in your opinion, Berto?
Just the fact. Just the fact that.
You see the same results in the rematch?
Just the fact of him staying poised, him staying focused, him staying, I just determined to win.
That get your juices
like I
flowing,
said,
watching a fight like that with the crowd like that?
Like I said, I seen Kovalev kind of, he went and hit that down slow after like 5 or 6 rounds. You know what I'm saying? But he just stayed determined. He just stayed hungry.
Your heart.
We out.
Everything he was supposed to be doing, man. I'm very blessed to be able to be part of this. It's like history being made, man.
And what's up with you, man? We've been waiting for you to get back in the ring.
I'm coming back soon, man. I just know when y'all see me, y'all gonna be very, very happy with what y'all see, man. Because I'm working with Virgil now, and it's just like a very good situation for me. I feel blessed.
What's going to be different?
My mind. You get older and you get smarter.
First quarter of 2017?
Yeah, first quarter, yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. Any message for all your fans out there?
Y'all keep following me. I make sure I tell y'all kids that they can reach for their dreams and never give up.
All right, thanks, man.
Like Andre always knew he was going to fight this kind of a fight. I felt like Kovalev thought he would eventually get him out of this, so it wouldn't have to be this kind of a fight. But it became this kind of a fight the whole fight.
What do you think about the different scorecards? What do you think about the different scorecards? You got
See? That doesn't get me. Two-time Olympic champ right here.
Hey, did you feel the punches sitting ringside when they were landing those bounces? Wow.
I wasn't really thinking, because a lot of the shots were landing so clean. I felt like after the knockdown, Kovalev never landed on that clean shot. It was all, and I felt like it was going to be that kind of a tip-to-tap fight where shots were going to land on the arms, on the stomach, a partial shot to the head. And that's what it became, and I feel like Andre was going to always be a better fighter at that kind of fight, like tip-to-tap. Also, as the fight went on, he got his timing really well. Like, if you watch the fight closely, forget these counterblocks, Kovalev keeps missing by about 3 inches. You know what I mean? Like, Andre just got him missing, and sometimes he'd make a miss, and he's like, don't get me wrong, sometimes Kovalev did land the jab, sometimes Kovalev did land the right hand to the stomach, but the play, he's taking the play away to come to Andre Ward kind of fight, and he get inside and push it. Sometimes, I remember the one round, he came right out to the middle of the ring and got right in his chest. He was trying to set the tempo mentally. It was not always about the physical fight. I remember one particular round, Andre came out, and instead of getting in a stance, he just went right into his chest. I just, started bullying him and tried to push him around. Because again, a fight is not just jab and tactics. Sometimes it's about mentally bossing him, and I felt like at certain moments, all he was trying to do was take the mental play away from him. Like, nah, I'm the boss tonight. We're going to do it my way. You know what I mean? And I felt like he needed to convince him. And I felt like little by little, I don't think Kovalev ever felt out of control, don't get me wrong, but I did feel little by little Kovalev started to become frustrated and fatigued and just not get a little bit frustrated at the fact that he couldn't land these shots, big shots he wanted to land.
Probably for the record,
for boxing music this was.
It was close.
People telling me.
No, it was close. I mean, don't get me wrong. The guys behind this, a lot of them, but they always miss a good fight, no matter how close you put those guys. You know what I mean? They had a few rounds. It was 5-6 rounds up for Kovalev. You're missing a great fight. I don't know. It was round 8, and these guys had Kovalev up by 5 points a bunch of them, and I'm like, what a shame. You're missing a good fight. You're missing a good performance by Andre Ward. I'm thinking in my mind, because this is. It's masterful the way he's able to just nick these rounds. And again, you want to give him to Kovalev, some of them, okay? But he's nicked these rounds, but he's also mentally staying in the fight and starting to take the mental play away from him. That is so difficult. I can't even put it into words how difficult that is to do. After you've been knocked down, the guy who has a reputation of a killer, you got to look up at him and know that he's going to come right back at you to finish you. The crowd of 20,000 people here knows this guy's a destroyer and he's about to destroy you. And you're all by yourself in that moment. And you've got to convince yourself, not only am I staying in this ring right now for the next half hour, because there's 10 rounds to go, I'm going to not only stay in this ring right now, but I'm going to actually come kick your ass too. It's so difficult to convince yourself in that moment to do that. Most guys just get up, and you see what Kovalev's done to most guys. Most guys just end up getting finished off right there. Hopkins, he got up and he boxed in a very witty, very cagey way, but he wasn't trying to win the rest of the fight. I'm sorry. Andre Ward got up and tried to win the rest of the fight.
How good
even more difficult.
How good enough is this for boxing since you're part of the game?
I don't know, because I feel like you got to actually know your boxing in order to really give this kind of fight credit. I appreciate this fight because I understand how difficult it is to get through this fight. I don't even know if the peers. I don't know. You know what I mean? For me, I've been down in fights. I've been in tough physical fights. I understand how hard it is to grind yourself every single round and get through this every single round. And every moment of the 3 minutes is panic. Every moment of the 3 minutes is you one wrong move, you could be on the canvas again. I understand understand that feeling. And so to remain strong-hearted, strong-headed the whole time, despite all this going on, despite what's already happened earlier in the fight, is so difficult. And for me, it's motivational inspiration. This is motivational inspiration, bro. This is inspirational.
Paulie, what did you, Paulie?
Another close fight, I'm telling you. This is never going to be a one-sided fight. This is never going to be a one-sided fight, no matter what. I give Andre the edge in the rematch, but it's not like you're going to, you're not going to be able to go put your house on it, that's for sure. You know what I mean?
Paulie, would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Paulie, what'd you think of the referee job when it got to the rough stuff?
You know, one thing I've noticed about referees in boxing, they could probably sit in the front row and take a seat, and you know, they don't partake in really refereeing. But I felt like this fight was always going to be that kind of a physical battle. I don't know that Andre was doing anything wrong, really. You know, he was just getting in there and trying to jockey for position, and Sergey was jockeying for position back. It's always going to be that kind of fight. Some guys fight like that. So, you know, you can't complain about it sometimes, and then sometimes not complain about it. Because Sean Porter, for example, fights like that every fight. So, you know, you can't DQ Sean Porter every time he fights. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like the way you can't DQ guys in this kind of a fight. You know what I mean? It's just part of it. You know, I'm not complaining about it at all. Sometimes it's just part of the game. You know what I mean? And you got to figure out a way. If guys will start throwing headbutts like this, or literally showing your elbow, okay. You know what I mean? Like, you got to give one. But that kind of rough stuff, that's part of the game. And fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, you're going to have to figure out a way to deal with it.
What do you think about the adjustments? I asked 10 people and I get 10 different scorecards.
Because it's that kind of a fight. It's that kind of a fight. It depends on what you appreciate. You also have to understand what's going on in there to a degree. I mean, for me, I don't think a lot of people can understand what I just explained to you guys. It's so deep. It's so deep in the moment.
Do you have to be a fighter to understand it?
I don't know. I mean, because I don't know what it's like to not be a fighter. You know what I mean? So I don't know what it's. I can't tell you. Oh, you got to be a fighter to understand it, because I don't know what the other side would feel without ever having stepped in the ring. I don't know. You know, so I gotta have my perspective, my view from my experience. But it doesn't mean like, oh, nobody's allowed to have a perspective. No, it just doesn't mean that. You know, but at the same time, I can give you my perspective and why I have my perspective and why I'm talking to you this way based on my life. You know, and based on what I've seen and experienced, and also what I've seen. It's not just what I've experienced.
Does anybody lose tonight? I mean,
I hope not. I hope people can at least appreciate this fight. And I love to see a rematch. I feel like Sergey deserves it. I feel like Sergey deserves it, and I feel like, you know, both guys fought their hearts out, and I would like to see a rematch.
Andre showed a lot. Did Sergey show a lot? Andre showed a lot. What did you think you saw from Sergey tonight?
Same thing. You know what I mean? You know, I thought Sergey faded a little bit late, but he stuck with it, man. You know, he didn't say what's going on over here. You know, he's still listening to John David Jackson, giving him good instructions in the corner. You know, John David, I saw heard the instructions in both corners. Good instructions. You know, Virgil was very motivating to Andre because he felt like, you know, it was time to motivate his fighter because he'd been down. It wasn't so much tactical. So honestly, the knockdown in the second round, I didn't think it was a tactical error at all. Like, when I saw the knockdown, Andre's looking to counter over the top of the jab. He's rolling on the top of the jab, and he's looking to counter with the right hand. But sometimes when you make this move, the risk you take when you make this move, and I've made the same move sometimes. I've never paid with it I've never paid with a knockdown, but it's the same move we all make. We roll on the jab, it flies over our shoulder, and this guy's stepping in with his jab. So when you come over the top with the right hand, he's right there. The risk you take when doing that is sometimes the guy's coming with a 1-2 and not with a jab. So in the moment it takes you to roll and come back with yours, a 1-2 is a straight combination, so he's going to get there first because his momentum is telling him forward. So what happened there, Andre made the right move if it was a single jab. But you can't time, in the moment, you don't know if it's going to be a 1-2 or just a jab. You know, a guy can disguise it very well. So Andre expected a single jab, roll and countered. It would have been a great counter because he made the right move, the perfect move, and he made it at the right time. If you look at it, he timed it perfectly. The only thing is, Sergey came with a 1-2. So Sergey's right hand beats him to the spot. Why? Because when you make this move, you got to rock back first. You got to make the move, you got to rock. So the rocking back makes you lose a split second to the right hand that's already on its way. So you're going to run into it. So in reality, he didn't do anything wrong. He just misinterpreted the move. So so he didn't need tactical advice. What he needed to be was motivated. And how did Virgil Hunter know that too? Because also Virgil Hunter has been with the guy for 20 years. So you know your fighter as a fighter and you know him as a man. So you know what it takes in that moment. Okay, what do I got to tell him in this moment? It's not tactical advice because you don't want him to doubt his tactics because his tactics are correct. And obviously they ended up being correct. So you don't want to give him tactical advice in that moment. You got to motivate him to let him know that it's going to be okay and you got to get your charge going. From the same token, John David Jackson was giving good advice to Sergey. You know, trying to create that distance, create that space. Let your punches dictate from the outside. You know, because there's moments when you're on the outside, you got to land. But Sergey was having trouble landing it cleanly after that second round. Because without that mistake from Andre, and again, you want to call it a mistake, again, I just explained to you why it's not a mistake, but without Andre's cooperation, Sergey was having a lot of trouble landing a clean shot.
It seemed like after 4 or 5 rounds, Sergey wasn't throwing the jab, and the jab was really keeping on.
Yeah, Sergey came and went with the jab. jab. Like he was like, it was moments where he came back and it was like heavy, but there was times I felt like when Sergey couldn't land it, he would just stop using it. You don't want to stop using a jab. You just want to change the rhythm on it. You know,
if you would have kept using it?
It could have, but at the same time, if you're not using a correct jab, you may get countered over the top of it too. So the thing about a jab, you got to use it correctly. The jab is a simple punch, but if you start throwing showing the same one or doing the same thing or throwing it the same way, you're gonna start getting countered over the top of it or underneath it even. You know what I mean? So sometimes guys go away from it because they don't feel confident in it. Maybe they feel like might start getting countered. Andre will give you those looks to where he'll make you risk. He'll make you feel like you're risking throwing something if you throw it at the wrong time. So I don't know what was going through Sergey's mind. It's possible. I'm just telling you possibilities that might have been running through guys' minds in the moments. You know, again, it's a little deeper to understand. I don't expect everybody to understand it to that depth. But I just hope people understand it enough to be happy with the fight, no matter who you thought won the fight, and hopefully we get a rematch.
After the knock,
Ward dominated the second half of the fight. What adjustments do you think he made to be able to do that?
Well, first of all, he never stopped trying to win the fight. He never stopped trying to boss the fight. So he wanted to take the mental play away from Sergey. And also, it wasn't really the adjustment because I don't think there was anything wrong with his tactics to begin with. It was about him staying with his game plan. I think he made it a very physical fight. I don't know if that was always the plan because in round one, you're not gonna come out in round one and go right into the guy's chest, right? So you're gonna find out if it was gonna be a physical fight after a few rounds once he's warmed up. Because the first round, you're gonna come out, you're gonna get in your stance, and you're gonna see what's going on. You know what I mean? So I don't know if being physical was always the game plan or if it became the game plan once he got knocked down. We'll never know because he got knocked down and that's the way it played out. You know, I do feel being physical was always part of the game plan. I don't know if it was that much part of the game plan. I don't know. We'll never know now because he got knocked down around 2 and we saw what he did afterwards. So I don't know. You know, either my biggest impression was again the way he stayed committed to the fight. He didn't just stay in the fight because you can stay in the fight. Sometimes you get in there, you get up and you're tough and you stay in the fight because it's your responsibility. He stayed in the fight and then he stayed committed to winning the fight.
After the knock, how difficult is it to stay committed when you're down in round 2?
It's very difficult. Like I said before, I mean, you had a guy who's known as a destroyer. You got a guy who's being watched by 20,000 people screaming at you. You've been down. A guy who finishes guys, and you're on the canvas getting up, looking at him across the ring. That's what's waiting for you. The guy you know is a destroyer. You know, you gotta. Your mind is gonna mess with you in that moment. You know, most guys are finished right there. It's so difficult to overcome that particular moment. That moment right there finishes fights because fighters beat themselves in that moment. And so he stayed committed. And you win the next round, you get a little bit more confidence. You win, you touch him, you get through another round where he doesn't touch you much, and little by little, you start believing again. You know what I mean? And maybe the other guy you might have a little bit of doubt creeping in the other guy. Again, it's a mental battle as much as a physical battle. It's a war that's won with little battles, just like a real war. A war is a one with little battles. Right? There's little battles going on every minute of every round.
After Ward always dominate. Like when we think pound for pound, we feel domination. Ward had to go through a lot of adversity tonight. Is that even build even more of a pound for pound champion? Or
No, I mean it's just here's the thing. Even when Floyd makes it look easy, it doesn't mean he's not having moments of trouble. He just knows how to turn it around and make it look easy. I felt like Floyd and the Jose Luis Castillo fights had 2 very difficult fights. Even if he made the second one look look easy. If you watch the second Jose Luis Castillo fight, he's suffering through it. He's just managing to win every single round, but he's suffering through every single round. So again, I feel like adversity is only recognized by certain people too. You know, it's great to play the role though. You know what I mean? Floyd will make it look easy, but it's not always that easy. You know what I mean? Even the Jesus Chavez fight, if you remember, he's down 3 rounds to none, and the guy's throwing 100 punches a round. You don't know if this guy's gonna keep throwing as many punches. What the hell's going on over here? You know? Stay committed to the win, start wearing them down. So it's different. There's different points of creating doubt and having to overcome that.
After Ward got knocked down, I noticed he committed to the body attack. And from the mind of a fighter, how risky is that when he's dealing with a killer like Kovalev?
He committed to the body attack, but he committed to the body attack at real close range. Like it wasn't like it was anything effective, I thought, but it was like just to show him like on the way out, just smack him, and the other way, smack him. You know, just smack him. He wasn't really doing it, but what you're doing is you're showing the mean intention. Like break, you know what I mean? Oh, now you're breaking. The guy's like, damn, this guy's still here to win. He's mean. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, it sounds so stupid. But it plays into every little bit plays on the mind. It's crazy, you know. Because what you're thinking on your break is like, this guy ain't going nowhere right now. This guy's staying here. This guy's here to stay for a little while longer. You know what I mean? So pack your lunch because the night's not over. You know what I mean? So again, that plays on your mind. And speaking of adversity again, even through the years going back to the adversity, Sugar Ray Leonard was behind against Tommy Hearns. You know what I mean? Like so, we've seen adversity, and sometimes
just been spoiled by how.
Of course, sometimes they get spoiled. But even like I said, even Floyd has seen adversity. You just have to understand the kind of adversity it was in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, it's hurt his hands in some fights. You gotta understand the type of adversity you're dealing with in certain moments. It's different kinds of adversity. You know, adversity is not always coming up off the canvas. That's easy adversity. I mean, I know it's easy to overcome. I'm saying it's easy to recognize, but it's not easy adversity. But what I'm saying is it's easy to recognize by everybody. Okay, he's going through adversity, he's down. It's the little subtle adversities that are there too that people don't always recognize.